And so, dear hearts and wonderful people tuned in today on this third day, the 10th day of Christmas, and the 12th night will be Tuesday night, leading into another great day. It's called the Feast of the Epiphany, or the Manifestation of the Lord. And it's a wondrous day indeed, and it's your day, and it's my day. And it celebrates the manifestation of the divine in all of its creation, you, me, and all of its creation. It's a glorious day. And where I come from, it's called Little Christmas. So I'm saying to you, on the 6th of January, have yourself a merry little Christmas. And remember, it celebrates you, the emanation of the life of the One. The manifestation of the Lord, which is law. Lord equals law in metaphysics. The manifestation of the law. And what is the law? It's the law of life, it's the law of light, and it's the law of love. And you and I are its way of expressing. Isn't that awesome? It's a beautiful thing to know at any time, but especially at the beginning of the year. And so we're looking at this thing called evolution. Evolution in general in the macro, and evolution in the micro. And before we evolve into anything, it seems to me, from my experience anyway, and the experiences of many I have sat and listened to over the years, evolving really involves two things most of the time: quitting and beginning. Quitting and beginning. Now, sometimes, in order to bring about a change, in order to enter into something new, we have to be courageous enough to quit something that doesn't work for us, never really had worked for us, but now we're realizing it doesn't work for us. And we have to have the courage to let that go. Let something go, make a space for something new and different to come in, the new beginning. So, of course, at the beginning of every new year, minds are more likely to be pondering, resolve. Be more open to intentional thinking. More open to really getting clarity on something that we truly wish to realize. Something that will be very good for us, and maybe not just good for us, but for all around us and life in general. It's a huge thing. It's a great occupation, this thing called endeavoring to clarify something. And in this month of January, in our spiritual community globally, we're focused on basic fundamental principles of the science of mind and spirit founded by Dr. Ernest Holmes, beginning really back in the early 20s of the last century. And so he was able to study very carefully and deeply because he was just fascinated by this whole thing called life and knowledge of life and so on, and this thing called God, the divine, and so forth. And he studied all the philosophies, he studied all the sciences, he studied all the religions, and he was able to find the golden mean in all of them, the golden thread that ran through all of these wonderful discoveries and what we classify as science and philosophy and religion. And he called it science of mind and spirit. It's the study of the mind, and it's the practice of the heart. The two have to be together. Study of the mind and the practice of the heart. How the mind and heart interact with each other, connect with each other, and then the outflow of that is something that produces that which is whole and wholesome, and uplifting and advancing, and helps us to evolve. So, I'm inviting us all this month to look at the 4 quadrants of the circle of our life and see if there is any necessity for us to take care of some need that makes itself apparent in any of the areas or maybe in all of the areas. And the 4 quadrants of the circle of our life is the quadrant of health, the quadrant of fullness and plenty, prosperity or wealth, and then there's the quadrant of emotional health, the feeling nature of ourselves, and then there's the quadrant of the soulfulness of ourselves, the divine aspect of ourselves. So it's health of mind, health of body, health of emotion, and health of soul we're looking at. Now, your life and my life they're all built on the pillars of these 4 quadrants in the circle of life. And the circle cannot be full until all of those areas are seen to, tended to, and taken care of regularly, constantly, and continuously. So I'm inviting us all now to call this month Spirit Spring Project. Spirit Spring Project. I want to spring up into an awareness of what it is we need to take care of. It's spiritual housekeeping, really. And what better time to do it than at the beginning of a year? And instead of just making the usual goals and so on and so forth, but just to look to yourself. Don't look outside of yourself for your goals. Look inside of yourself to make some resolutions about yourself. And I can tell you, if we do this diligently and consistently, our lives will change phenomenally. And so will the lives of people around us. And we will be a raising agent in the energy of life when we do this. It's like you've got to tend. Now, the gardeners, and many of them have appeared this year, just like many cooks have appeared this last year, I should say. They know you have to tend to things in order to have things happen. You tend to the garden, you tend to the kitchen, you tend to all that needs to be tended to if something is to move and happen. Well, your mind is the same. Your body is the same. Your emotional body is the same. And your soul is the same. They all need tending to. And all of them, not just 3 out of 4 or 2 out of 4 or 1 out of 4, God help us all, or none out of 4. Ooh. That would be a hard way to live. So can you do this? Do you feel that you can do this? Do you think that you can do this? Take care of yourself. I'm saying to you, for the month of January, your biggest and most essential task is to take care of yourself. Set yourself up in January to have the greatest year yet. That's what the invitation is. Look to the mind, what's going on in it. Look to the emotion, what's going on in it. Look to your soul, what's going on in it. Look to the body of your affairs, what's going on. And whatever that is, does there need to be any adjustment anywhere, any recalibration? Well, for my own, yes. There needs to be recalibration and adjustments. And I have the resolve. And it takes a resolve. Remember, to start and create a new beginning, there needs to be a courageous release and letting go and an ending of something, a quitting of something. Look to that carefully and see, are you ready to play in this game? Are you ready to take care of yourself? When did you last ask yourself, am I ready to take care of myself? And I'm not talking about indulge yourself. We can know how to do that very well. But to take care of yourself, your incredible, unique, specialized, fantastic self. essential self. Are you ready to take care of it? Because it needs to be taken care of. It's like anything to your use. It needs to be taken care of. Why is it that you and I can take care of everything and everyone else to the point of sacrifice and totally neglect ourselves? Totally neglect ourselves. I see it all the time, in caretakers especially. All the time. Well, that is not an intelligent way of living. Let us help each other to help ourselves. There never was a greater truism than God helps those who help themselves. Never. That's pure wisdom. Instead of thinking I need help from here and help from there and help from all, the whole mind is responding accordingly. So if I'm thinking misery me, life is saying, God bless her. She's misery me. Let's assist and support her in realizing her misery. And it comes to me in gobs because I have all this support. Now, what sense does that make? Take care of yourself. And in doing that, I'll go back to something that we talked about during the year, and we agreed was a good idea. And I'm going to call it our love cry for the year. It's our love cry for the year. I am, therefore I can. And what am I? More than I ever could think I am. More than this body. More than my thoughts and feelings, and more than my accomplishments and achievements, and more than my failures and mistakes. I'm so much more. I am the power and the presence of the one within me who lives and moves and has its being by means of me. That's what I am in truth and in essence. So when I say I am, that's what I'm thinking about. I have the I am presence supporting me, and therefore I can. So I am and I can be our war cry, except we're changing war to love cry. It's our love cry as we take on the spring, the Spirit Spring project of our own self-care. And I can guarantee you, in self-caring, you will be taking care of everything and everyone around you, because you'll be such a more wondrous presence and energy as you do that. You won't be rolling around on fumes anymore, on emptiness anymore. You'll be filling up. You'll be filling up. You'll be filling up that glass until it's spilling over, instead of draining it to its dregs. Nobody wants your dregs, especially you. So, my dear ones, let's get excited. And especially those at the moment who are undergoing all kinds of challenges and are in all crisis situations at the moment, and there are many of us who are. And I say, take yourselves on. Take yourself on as your essential project right now. Whether you're facing surgeries, whether you're facing treatments, whether you're facing enormous challenges of whatever kind, remember there's no such thing as impossible in spirit, and there's no such thing as incurable in spirit. No such thing. Take yourself on. Get in touch with your I amness. Get in touch with your I canness. Get in touch with knowing that you can allow the flow to move through you and unblock whatever is stopping it by taking care of the 4 quadrants in your life: your mind, your body, your heart, and your soul. I guarantee you, if you take care of those 4 areas, and remember, maintenance is better than having to heal something. You can heal. Anyone can heal. But it takes pure single-mindedness, single-heartedness, absolute faith in all is possible in spirit. That's what it takes. And we ourselves may not be able to do that alone, but you know what? We have marvelous people who are qualified, and we all are, but they have a little piece of paper that says they're qualified. They're licensed to pray. So are you. All of us are. But we can gather all those around us to support us in that energy too. A power of prayer, and Reverend Catherine just said a beautiful prayer, gave it to us. And when she was saying those words, each one of them had energy. And those words were coming from the energy within her, the one within her. They weren't just words. That was energy, energetic wording coming out at us, blessing us. Can you imagine a whole group who are committed and dedicated to prayer and meditation every day of their lives, centering themselves in the awareness of a wholeness that is you, supporting that in you? It's available to you through the community. Remember that. There's no such thing as being alone if you don't want to be alone. And even if you think you're alone, you're not. But you can just say, I'll take all the help I can get. Why not? Because all it means is you're upping the charge of energy that you've agreed to in yourself. You're empowering that and having it fed by all these other energies flowing into it, with the one power and the one presence and the one essence flowing in to the crucible of your heart. Avail of it. We have a wonderful team of practitioners who are licensed to pray, but who make prayer an essential element of their daily lives and touch everything with prayer when they hear about whatever. Immediately, these individuals take everything and place it in the energy of prayer and know something wonderful. You hear a siren going and you say, God is in the midst of it, a very real and present help. God is in the midst of it, a very real and present help. God is in the midst of it, a very real. And then the energy is felt, and the energy goes to wherever that is. Like the lady once upon a time who was in a car crash, and she was out for the count. And her car was about 12 or 13 cars away from another one. But as she was out of her body, she could see a complete river of light coming from one car right down to her and hitting her. And when she got better and got well, she did everything she could to find who was in that car, and she did. And the lady in the car said, I was praying for you. Energy was flowing from the prayerful lady, and it made its way like a river to the injured lady. That's what a prayer group can do for you if you need it. And it has nothing to do with the individuals. It has everything to do with them allowing themselves just to be a vehicle, just to be an outlet, the inlet of grace. And it's not because they're so great and good and holier than anybody else. No, but they're centered. They're centered in the awareness of the power and the presence of life within them. And they know that they are its channel. And if they can quieten their minds and still their bodies and just allow that energy to flow, it always hits the target. That's there for you. We are here for you, as you are in your life for so many people around you. Take care of yourself is the message for January. Yourself, your beautiful self, your great self, your good self, your whole self, your true self, your essential essence. Take care of it. Honor it, acknowledge it, recognize it, bring it to everything that seems to go wrong in your life. Step away from what that is. Step out of your egoic self. Step away from your humanity and enter into your divinity and allow that to take care of you. And it will. And get the help of others to help you to do likewise when your glass is heading toward the dregs. That's a good time to do it. And it's a very good, intelligent, courageous thing to do, is to seek out and receive the help of another. The best thing you could do when you are truly challenged, because sometimes our noses are too close to the wall for us to see the window that is there, that we can see through. So, my dear ones, it's a great good day to be alive. It is a great good time to be alive. We are truly challenged, but we're in a great new year, and it shows a great deal of promise, but that promise will not be fulfilled if your energy and mine are not rising up to meet it and greet it and say yes to it. And go forward knowing that I will always do the intelligent thing as long as I'm consciously awake and alert and aware, and my resolve is to be consciously awake, alert, and aware. And I will wear the mask until I have to wear the mask, until I don't have to wear the mask, and I will keep the distances as long as it does people good to see me keeping the distance and wearing the mask, because it fills them with confidence and they know they're safe in my presence because I'm wearing a mask and I'm keeping my distance. I'm here to serve, however, and at the moment, that seems to be the best way to serve when I'm out in the world, and I am out in the world, is by showing up with my mask on. And even if I'm around here and we have tons of space to keep our distance, and we're in our own spaces, but we always have our masks hanging from our ears so that if anybody comes to the door or whatever, we put them straight on. We do that for each other. We do that as a good example too. And we don't do it out of fear. We do it out of what is required of us and what has been asked of us by the greater public. And so I'm not going to moan and groan and bellyache because I have to put a mask on my face and keep my distance. I'd rather do that and show confidence to others and help them not to be so afraid than to be on a ventilator in a hospital where overworked staff are truly amazing champions of life and living and doing for us what we cannot do for ourselves, for our sick folk, our sick brethren. I don't want to be one of those people that overload hospitals, and I know you don't either. So wear the mask and keep the distance and wash your hands. I know it's like being in kindergarten. It is spiritual kindergarten. Now don't forget, wash your hands, wear your mask, and keep your distance. That's what our mummies would be saying to us now if we were 4 or 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds. So do the small things and the big things will take care of themselves. You're amazing and you're awesome and you're fantastic, but that doesn't mean a thing to you when I say it to you. It only means something to you when you're saying it to yourself. And you've got to learn to say it to yourself, even when you're at your baddest, your meanest, your most forgetfulness, your laziest, your whatever. You have to be able to come to the point in your life where you can stand up out of all of that, in the mess, in the morass of it all, and say, I'm awesome. I'm wonderful. I'm an individualized expression of the one true life. For some reason or another, and right now it seems to me to be a cosmic joke, I'm in such a mess, but for some reason, the infinite decided it wanted to know itself and be itself and show itself by means of me. What a joke. And at least you can laugh to begin with. And the laughter is good energy, and it will help you to get over yourself and start doing what you know you've been postponing for so long. Because you are great. And you are awesome. And so I'm going to leave you right now, at the beginning of this year, with what I often say, but I just want you to get it. You are the point of light through which the infinite expresses itself in all of its amazing magnificence. Isn't that awesome? And so are you. And that's the truth. And so it is. And now I believe Reverend Catherine has something to come forward and share with us. Something wondrous.
This is the point in our service where we often share messages from our members about how we're fulfilling our mission to them, which is to honor their presence, to nurture their spirit, and to enrich the life of all we serve. And this is the message from today. The news is horrific and scary. I crave the peace and calm resolve I am getting from Redondo Center. I am so glad to be almost in a new year, and I am so ready to move forward, and I do have hope. Thank you for being available as such a steady rock for me.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Now, thank you to the dear heart that shared that with us. And here's what I want you to know from that. And I can't stress this enough. These letters, these things could not happen without you. Without all of us together being a community, being a collective spiritual community. All of us together are supporting the legacy of this great work, this divine idea that was once in the mind of God and became the Redondo Beach Center for Spiritual Living. And it couldn't happen without members. So remember, as you sleep, you're doing good by means of your membership in this community. Every night you go to sleep, know because you're alive on this planet, there's great good going on out there. I want you to really get that. Dig deep and get that. Because thank you for it. No one person can do this. No few people can do this. Do you know who starts a movement? It surprised me when I first discovered it on a TED Talk. It's not the person that has the great idea and presents it that starts a movement. It's the first responder. It's the first responder that starts a movement. And you are part of the movement of the energy of the spiritual center. And let me tell you, great good is happening because of you. Thank you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your good thoughts, your good deeds, your kindnesses. Thank you. You're making the difference even when you don't know it. So together as a collective, we are an energy on this plane for good. Please know that. And thank you for it. And at this point now, we are going to give thanks that we have enough from which to share, which is awesome blessing. And we do it gladly, as we say, divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to bless, to prosper all those who give, all those who receive. And I do rejoice and I'm glad and happy in the sharing of my good. And I release my gift in love. And so it is. And I'm just reminded now that I have something to share with you. It was in my pages for some reason today, in my notes. I'm just going to get it and share it with you because I want you to know how wonderful you are, how awesome you are, how great you are, and what a difference you do make. Well, I didn't bring it with me. It's on my desk, but I will share this with you on Wednesday morning when we get together for the 11 o'clock service. I will share it with you because it's very touching and it's very moving, and it's thanks to you that I can bring it to you. So, buck up, everybody. Cheer up, everybody. Shoulder up, everybody. Stand straight and stand tall, regardless of what condition you are in. And no, conditions can be changed. And we are here to help you to do that however we can. We are vibrantly open and here every day in the sacred service to our community and far beyond. So remember, you're never alone. And so to all of you know, there's no one like you. No one could be like you. You're essential. Without you in life, the universe would implode upon itself. That's how essential you are. So measure up to you, yourself, and your own awesomeness. Measure up to it because you can. Doesn't matter if you think your life is in ruins or if you think nothing has amounted to anything for you. Believe it or not, it has. You just don't know it. But you could let that go. Remember, to start a new beginning, sometimes we have to have the courage to quit something and bring it to an end. So sometimes an end has to happen before a beginning can occur. Think about it. And above all, take good care of your precious self. Please do. And until we meet again, know you're well prayed up here. You're held closely in heart, in prayer, and in mind. Each and every dear one, and many more. And so know this day is the beginning of something great and grand and glorious, and I'm in it to win it. I'm in it to realize all that I can and be my best self. So to all of you looking in from afar, as well as in the immediate vicinities, thank you for being part of our wonderful gathering. And to my family and friends in Ireland, again, a very happy new year to you, as the youngsters do, Isla and Ryan, and to each and every precious one of you. May God bless us, everyone, and so it is. Peace out.